Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 9th of January 2022, and the time now is 6:18 a.m. Well, our topic today is discuss the pros and cons of procrastination. Right, so before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
And to you, what is procrastinate?
Procrastinate is to delay doing something that you are supposed to do, but usually because in your mind you don't really like doing it, so maybe you delay doing it. Yeah.
Mm. Can I say that procrastination is the opposite of taking actions?
Opposite. It is not because it is not really the opposite. The opposite is not taking action. Is
Yeah.
mm,
It means do you think procrastination is the opposite of taking actions?
opposite. Not. Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
It is just the delay. It is not like not doing. It still can be
Mm,
done.
yeah. But but when for example, when you procrastinate, are
Mm.
you doing things slowly, so you taking action, so you do the things slowly, and you didn't like you didn't urge to get the thing done, and or are you actually to try to delay it or do something else, then try to avoid doing the particular things uh at this current moment.
Yeah, I think it's the later one.
Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah. Uh so why just now, in your opinion, this is not something like not taking actions?
If you say at that particular moment, yes, it is not taking action. But if we take into account the whole period of time, the action still uh, be taken at the end, maybe.
Oh yeah, I got it. So you actually means that, okay, for not taking action is we totally don't get the thing done.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, but for example, how about at job, at work, something that we need to get it, we need to get it done, right?
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, and yeah. So when the thing we need to get it done, and then we try to delay it.
Mm. Yeah.
So mm, uh, yeah, I know. I fully agree that there's some difference here, which is you you don't take the actions completely, and then you try and then you avoid things completely, versus
Mm.
that you delay it, at the end you are forced to do it, you have to do it, and then you start to do it.
Mm.
I agree, there's some difference here. Mm, but for example, when you already commit to do something, for example, you commit to a relationship,
Yeah.
and for example, you you go to college, you go to universities,
Mm.
and yeah, you need to study, and you know that you actually already know that at the end you have an exam.
Yeah.
So you procrastinate, and then you don't study hard,
Mm.
and then you delay to do the revisions,
Yeah.
and at the end, the last moment, maybe the last few months or last few days, you start to realize that, oh, the exam is coming. We
Yeah.
I just
Burn the
left
midnight oil.
What?
Yeah, burning the midnight oil.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So you use a lot of candle.
Mm.
So yeah, in this particular case, for the whole period, maybe 1 year, assume the exam is let's say assume the exam is uh, at the year end. So for the whole year, what are you doing? And for example, for work, and maybe you have a project, maybe it's 1 month project, 1 week, three days, or 3 months, or 1 month, or 1 years. Yeah, it could be a long project, it could be a short project. So if you keep delaying it, and you just start to do it at the last minute.
Mm.
So for another period, the whole period, beside of you really start to do it, what is a period called? Is it called not taking action, or we actually have another appropriate terms to describe it?
Mm. Yeah, I think I don't have any other words better than not taking action uh,
Mm,
at this current moment.
yeah. Mm, and we look at the psychological obstacles between the real not taking actions.
Mm.
When you pursuing something, you avoid to make decisions. You're afraid of success, you're afraid of failure, you're afraid of other people uh, uh, talk about you at behind. Yeah, you're afraid of a lot of things. You're afraid
Mm.
the judgments. Yeah, so it may stop you to start doing. And this is what we learned from the Just Do It video.
Mm.
And this is also quite similar. And also I remember in that video it also mentioned about the procrastination, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So you are not procrastinating. You actually uh you actually have faced some psychological uh obstacle that stop you to do something. Mm. Yeah, and I think uh so it can lead to a discussions about why we procrastinate. Mm.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Um, yeah, I think here is it's about something that you think you should, but um, you still not uh, maybe not convince yourself enough so that you are willing to do that.
Mm.
Yeah, so maybe in your conscious mind, you know that this is like the correct way, the correct things you should do, but maybe somewhere in your heart you feel like you are actually unwilling to do that. You uh, you you care about the emotions, emotional things that will occurs because of doing that things.
Yeah. I totally agree, and exactly, and it remind me something I mentioned in the past, which is doing the right thing, and it's quite ambiguous. But if you put, the sentence into the context, you found this is quite clear, because I'm not the person who who will procrastinate.
Mm.
I I want to get the thing done faster. I want to get the thing done quick as possible, because
Mm.
I can free up my mind. Only by doing that I can free up my mind, and I can have the mental freedoms or mental space, whatever you call.
Mm.
Yeah, and this is quite important to me because by by maintaining or by achieving the mental freedom or mental space or mind clarity, I can be more creative, I can be more effective, I can be more efficient.
Mm.
And when something comes, when something uncertain, unexpected comes to me and require me to spend time on it, unable to do it. So that means uh, I have time. I maintain a high level of margin of safety, which I have some spare time, just like
Mm.
you have some spare money, you have some spare saving in order
Mm.
to cope with the uncertainty
Yeah.
that you face in the future. Yeah, so I think this is one of the cons which of the procrastination. And when you procrastinate, so first you experience the mental stress.
Mm.
Mm. And then for the whole period, the stress will keep hit you will keep hit you, will keep like mm, burn your mind, and you can't really have the mental freedom. You can't really have the mental space. And what you are doing, if you don't take action, if you just keep procrastinate, you actually try to avoid it. You don't want to face it. You want to direct the problem, and then and then you suffer from the mental stress. And the mental stress could be little, bit by bit. But if you accumulate for the whole period, you can't really know if without the mental stress, how many more things you can dance in your life.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, this is how I see the things. Yeah, so yeah, do you do you see the cons of procrastination like this? Is it also one of your point?
Yeah. My point here is like the the whole process will be less enjoyable. Yeah, but your ones is more than this, right? Your ones is uh, uh beside this particular task, and then how it affects us in normal life, in our life for other things, right?
Yeah, right. And just now, you mentioned about less enjoy, less enjoyment.
Mm.
Do you think that, mm, yeah, uh, do you mean that if we procrastinate, the whole process is less enjoyable, or
Mm.
do you actually means that we procrastinate, and so at the end we are forced to do the thing because we are running out of time, and for the period of taking action, for the period of not procrastinate, doing the real things, get the things done, we couldn't enjoy the process because we are rushing. Which one? Or
Uh,
maybe
I
both?
think I think it's starting from the time that you delay until you end the task, the whole process.
Mm. And yeah, so are you referring to the former one or the later one?
Um, can you repeat the former one? The former
Okay,
one is
yeah,
before doing the action, right?
yeah, yeah. The former one is uh, you already decided to do the thing, or
Mm.
maybe somebody have passed you the job that
Mm.
you have to get it done
Yeah.
by the deadline, but you procrastinate until the last minute.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is before action. I think it's both.
Mm. And which one do you think is more dangerous, or less enjoyable, or less harmful?
Less enjoyable. Yeah, I think it's maybe before taking action.
Mm. Why?
Mm.
because of long
because
process? Sorry, because of long periods.
longer period, it is like having the uncertainty. The things keep in your mind. It maybe it is not so big, but if you keep in your mind, it seems like there is something block you. Uh,
Yeah.
you feel you couldn't feel the weight. You feel like there is a thing, and that is quite stressful.
Oh, so you actually means that, for example, you procrastinate something,
Mm,
but at the same time, you sure would do other things.
mm.
And then, so when you doing other things, you can't really enjoy it because there is something undone. So,
Yes.
mm, yeah, I see the point. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So, any other cons?
Okay. Beside this, I think also after the task, after you have done it, or after it is too late to done, and then you couldn't do it anymore, then at that time it will have the also uh the mental uh the negative side of the mental, yeah, the which is like self-blaming, regret, yeah, these kind of things will keep attacking you even after the whole things is over.
Mm, can you explain more detail? Uh, why is, after the things already done? Okay.
Mm.
Do you mean that we actually haven't completed the task, or maybe we didn't get the thing done uh greatly, so we make a lot of mistakes or something like that, or actually totally the thing is undone, and then
Uh,
we feel the things
yeah, I think it's both.
in both.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is like after, let's say, you preparing exam, you let's say you after you preparing it, and then it is already the last minute, but somehow you still do some preparation and go for the exam. Maybe you get a pass. Yeah, let's say you get a pass, and then at that time maybe you still blame yourself for not starting your preparations earlier. Otherwise, maybe you can get a better result that you expect to get, you want to get, and also maybe you feel regret of um, making yourself so suffering at the last the time before the exam, even though
Mm,
the result is good, but you feel like you already did something not so good, so that you are suffering.
mm. Yeah, so you could do it better, actually. Is it
Yeah.
is something like that, right? Yeah, and just now you also link it to the first cons we mentioned just now, which is the mental stress. So, uh, yeah, it seems to me, just now, how you uh, how you describe the things, and it seems to me this is like the virtual cycle. Is it?
mm, yep, it's a
Mm.
cycle.
So, yeah, initially you you procrastinate, and then you experience the mental stress, and at the last minute you have to get the thing done, and maybe you done this well or done it unwell. You will have a feeling that you could do it better, actually, and then this is also a mental stress to you.
Mm,
Mm,
yes.
yeah. And how about the quality? Do you see when you procrastinate, is
Mm.
will the quality increase or decrease? Quality of work.
Quality, yeah, quality, I think is most of the time it is not better off. It is worse.
Why?
Because at that time your first priority is just to meet the deadline. So whatever it did, just you just want to go to the end point.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. So that means your goal have changed.
Yeah.
Mm. Initially, you really want to achieve something. For example, maybe this is an exam.
Mm.
And maybe you want to yeah, I think an exam is not a good example. Okay, let's say this is a project, it's a company project.
Mm.
And maybe at the first you think that you want to okay, let's say this is an event, and then you are organizing the event, and then you are selling something on that event.
Mm.
And for example, it's a Chinese New Year. Okay, for example, you are selling anything else. For example, the biscuits, the Chinese New Year biscuits,
Mm.
or the in Chinese dialect we call it 八卦. This is like uh the 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 meat slices, is something like that. Yeah, and you want to sell the product.
Mm.
And then you procrastinate to communicate with your supplier, and you actually want to find the highest quality at a relatively cheaper price.
Mm.
And maybe because you procrastinate and you want to sell a good product to your customer, and at the end, because you are running out of deadline, so you try to so at the end you just simply choose a supplier that can
Mm.
supply you the product, then you can sell.
Yep.
So your focus shift from you want to sell the best product uh, in your knowledge, or 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 as you could. You want to sell the best product as you could to the customer, so it may indirectly uh, make more money for you and create greater satisfactions for customer. You create value to them, and also you earn some profit. Yeah, but at the end, the focus has been shifted. You just want to sell the product to your customer.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah, so it could be one of the reasons. So the reason of lower quality of work done at last minute.
Mm.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
also one of my points.
Yeah.
And yeah, just now you talk about the convictions. Uh, okay. Sorry. Before go back it. For this low quality, I totally agree. But if I want to if I want to give a little bit pushback, if I want to push back a little bit, sometimes I will say like this: sometimes the problem can automatically solve, and you don't need to take actions. For example, something that is require you to take action at this right moment, but maybe you delay tomorrow. You see the thing again. You don't need to do anything already, or maybe the problem already have been solved.
Mm.
Do you have any this kind of experience?
Um, yeah, I think it must have, but I
You
couldn't.
couldn't recall the memory,
Yeah,
is it?
I couldn't recall a particular one at this moment.
Yeah. So do you think could it be the pro of one of the pro of procrastination?
I think this is just kind of like you are a little bit lucky. It is not
Mm,
that there are some better way to deal with these things.
yeah, totally agree. And yeah, so but what if problem not going to be solved without you without your action? So that means you are really running a deadline. You are reading chasing the deadline.
Yeah.
And you experience every of the cons that we have mentioned just now. Mm. Yeah. And so, okay, go back to the convictions. Yeah, so just trying to say that why we do the procrastinate and why we experience the mental stress, but we still don't start to do the thing. Because you say that because we don't gain enough we don't gain enough convictions, and so that it may lead to a consequence that we are not willing to do the thing, even though we fully aware this is right things. Yeah. So why?
Okay, so the reason why we still don't do it, right? Even
Yes.
though
Yeah.
we can clearly see that if we do it later, it will be worse, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I think one example can kind of like explain this well, which is let's say today you have got a problem at your tooth, yeah, at one of your tooth. Maybe it need to be uh, pulled out. I mean, the tooth is already rotten, so it couldn't
Mm.
be kept already. So you feel the toothache every day, but it is not a lot. Maybe let's assume not to the degree that it is really painful. No, it is just a little. Yeah, and then uh, for that particular pain, it is, let's say we give it an amount like 20. Yeah, the pain is 20. And when you think of you need to go to the dentist to pull out the tooth, maybe in your mind, in your imagination, the pain, let's say the pain is 50, plus a lot of uncertainty and also of many of the uh, mental negative things. So maybe it add up like 70. Yeah, so 20 versus 70. So I think at that particular moment, you just delay doing it because you don't want to face 70 at that particular moment, but you can accept to receive 20, and then maybe next month become 30, next month become 40, but you're still comparing with 70. So you don't do it until one day it really get you very painful, like 80 versus 70. So you found that you have no choice. The problems is become worse, and then you have to go to the dentist.
Mm.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
deadline is coming.
Yeah.
If you don't go, maybe
Mhm.
you really need a big surgery.
Yeah. uh, yeah, it's a good example. Uh, yeah. So uh, I see your I see your point. This is about the cost and benefit analysis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is regarding to the mental cost, is it? Or maybe
Yes.
it also could be the 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 non-mental cost, the physical cost, because if you don't solve it, the cost will still at there. So the cost will keep around you unless you try to solve it, which is referring to the mental stress. Keep keep knocking your head, keep knocking your brain, and if you don't start to do it, and the stress will just exist, it's not going away. Is it something like that?
I am sorry, this make me quite confused.
Mm.
Because just now you say it is not only mental, it is physical, right? So can you
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
more about the physical part?
Okay. Mm, okay. Actually, I think I shouldn't use the mental or non-mental here. I think I should frame it into whether this is the. Mm, okay, I would like to. I want to say uh, the cause this is the cost of us, and it also could be the cost of other people. Yeah, but I think this is another point already. Okay. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I think we can just think this is the mental cost. Yeah, if we don't do it. Okay, okay. I know how to describe it. I know how to describe.
Okay.
For example, just now you say that the tool, right? Your tool have you have a decayed tool, and you don't
Yeah.
see the dentist. And it's not just about the mental, because your tool is getting worse and worse. If you don't do it, and then your gum health will be compromised, will also being worse. And
Yep.
this is your health, is it?
Mm.
Yeah. So is it a physical cost to you, or non mental cost to you?
Yeah, it is physical.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when comparing but when we do the cost and benefit analysis here,
Mm.
it is can the cost be added?
No, this is the benefit. Because when you're removing the cost, it actually is the benefit. The benefit of seeing the dentist versus the cost of not seeing dentist, which is you go to see dentist, you may lose your teeth. Okay, this is you may lose your tooth. Yeah, you lose your tooth. Yeah, it's a cost. One of the costs.
Yeah.
If and yeah, and if you don't go to see the dentist, your tooth will get worse and worse. So this is a cost of not seeing the dentist of the it's the cost of not seeing the dentist. And then so your gum health get worse, and it can affect the next teeth. It can affect the next tooth, and you suffer the pain. And then it also can affect your emotion. You feel angry, you feel anger, you feel unsatisfied, and also you feel pains every time you eat a food you can't enjoy. All this is a cost. And how about the benefit? Yeah, remove it, totally remove it, and you can back to the normal life. So it could be the benefit. Yeah. But it is a little bit different to other decision, right? For example, other decision we can we choose what option we want, A, B, C. And yeah, because the decisions, the result of the decision is unclear, so we do the cost and benefit analysis. And but for this case, it seems like we have to do it. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so like make me realize there is another perspective to look at the procrastination, this thing, which is when the cost and benefit analysis ensure you that, or maybe kind of like you have to do the thing. You have to do the thing to maybe to go back to a normal life, or maybe to move forward. One of the example is if you think this is not a good relation, it's not a relationship you want to continue anymore, and then you need to move forward. You shouldn't procrastinate. Yeah, in this case, I'm not sure whether you can use a procrastinate, or you use other terms, tolerate, or use procrastinate to end the relationship, yeah, and then you suffer from the relationship.
Mm.
Yeah. So about the relationship example, do you see this is also one of the example of procrastination? So it's not procrastinate the to do something. It's not like you procrastinate means that you are not doing things. It also could be you procrastinate, then you keep doing the same thing. You don't zoom out the big picture. You don't try to solve the problem. You just keep put your head into the sand and keep doing the same thing. Do you think it's also one of the procrastination, or actually is another thing?
I think this is also a procrastination of not facing the problem, or procrastination of not looking for the action and then to do it.
Yeah. Yesterday I listened to one podcast, and the guest is the Jack Dorsey, the founder of the Twitter, the founder of the Square, the ex-CEO of the Twitter.
Mm.
And he says something that I think is totally right, and it made me keep thinking, which is he say that when you break down when you break down the skill at the most fundamental layer, this is about the critical thinking. This is about the problem solving skill. And if he say if there is only one skill that I want to keep improving every day in my life, this is this. Yeah. If it's a problem solving skill, this is a critical thinking. And so, for example, you need to question your assumption. You need to zoom out to see the big picture. You need to ask why. You need to question. You need to question why you do the thing. You need to question what you want to achieve. What's your goal? Something like that. And it also could be you want to break the big problem into a very, very smaller problem, and then you solve them one by one. You couldn't solve a very big problem by just direct basically. You need to break it into smaller parts and then try to understand them and solve it one by one. Yeah, of course, when you solve one problem, maybe some other problem will be automatically solved. Yeah, so this is also one of the things you mentioned just now. Maybe procrastinate. Maybe when you procrastinate, the problem can automatically be solved without you taking action, but we have other better way. Yeah, we should just start working it, and then other problem can also be solved automatically. Yeah, so this is how the Jack Dorsey frame the critical thinking and frame the problem solving. Now, so do you see the procrastination is like the opposite of the problem solving? Hello?
Yeah. It can be at this aspect. Yeah, because problem solving is like we try to figure out the problems, and then, like you say, we break them down into maybe many small problems, and then you try to find a way and then maybe a few which you can control, and maybe a few which is more urgent, and then yeah, at least you try looking for the solve. Yeah,
mm.
you face it.
Yeah, and link back to the conviction you mentioned just now. Is it something? Is it something a solution that can increase your convictions? That can uh that can make you like less likely to procrastinate, because sometimes we think that the problem is too difficult to solve and we don't want to face it, and but once we break it into a smaller part and we found that it is actionable.
Mm,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
But to me here, I think the conviction didn't change. The
Mm,
conviction is still the same, but the friction maybe become lesser.
mm, yeah. Yeah. So in your opinion, how can we increase the conviction?
Um,
Or maybe do you think that the conviction uh it didn't contribute significant impact to not procrastinate?
um, conviction.
Yeah, just now you say we don't have enough conviction, so and even though we we know this is something that we have to do,
mm,
but we are not willing to do. So why we are not willing to do? Is it because something that is not important enough? Like if we don't eat the food, we will starve, we will die. If we don't drink the water, we will die. If we don't breathe the air, we will die.
yeah, that
Or
will be a little bit extreme, right?
yeah, yeah.
What about if we take about example of quit smoking?
Mm-hmm.
For this one, maybe at first your conviction is like you want to you want to be healthier. You don't want to get cancer maybe after 10 years. Uh, so you you decided to not become a smoker. But even though you have this identity, uh, quitting quit smoking can also still be challenging. And then your
Mm,
conviction is already there, but the process when you do it every day, you couldn't use your willpower, your conviction to deal with it because the friction is too much. Um, and then if let's say we use problem solving here, maybe we use the right approach, the right methods, and maybe we firstly use some substitute, not the smoke, maybe some other things like coffee or less harmful things, little by little. Then maybe the problem solving take place, and then it make the friction lesser,
mm,
so that you still go back to your conviction, you stick to your uh, initial thoughts.
mm, yeah,
Yeah, this is my thinking.
yeah. And when you talk about conviction, if the conviction without action versus conviction with action, which one will have or which one will have a stronger impact? For example,
Mm,
yeah, we know smoking is bad for our health, and but I couldn't quit smoke. So, but of course, I know smoking is bad for my health,
mm,
but I didn't try. I didn't try quitting.
mm,
Yeah, and versus I also know that, and I take action, and then I start to maybe I start to see the benefits, how I gain back my health. Okay, and maybe I don't have dry throats anymore. I can see the changes, the positive changes. Yeah, so it also with the actions, I mean with the action, it also will increase the conviction, right?
mm,
Mm,
mm. Yeah,
yeah.
but for some things, sometimes it is not so fast for us to see the benefit, right? Sometimes the
Yes.
maybe the beginning is really, really tougher than
Yes.
you don't take action. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe the addiction give you torturing when you try to quit it.
Yeah. And I think yeah, smoking is really really hard because it's not just about the mental thing. It could be the addiction. Compared to other things in our life, yeah. Maybe quitting smoking is a hard thing. Yeah. Let's say compared to preparing for the exam, comparing to working on a project. Yeah. Before deadline. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it actually linked me back. I'm not sure about you, but it linked me back to the Just Do It video. So Just Do It here is not just the strategy. Just Do It here is not just a tactic. Yeah.
Mm.
And we keep motivate ourselves doing just do it. But it is a strategy, and it is the only way. Yeah, so far we see that if you couldn't break it into the smaller part, you couldn't start do it. So you didn't take action, your convictions will not get improved over time, and then you're stuck in your old habit. But when you but when you take the action, and this is the only way you can quit smoking, or you can get some other thing done or break your bad habits, is start to do it. And there's only way. You don't have any other way. So this is a strategy. Mm, yeah. So yeah. So to you, the overall the procrastination is, yeah, of course is a negative thing, right?
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't actually today I couldn't provide any pro. How
Oh
about you
really?
for
Oh,
procrastination?
actually, yeah, actually, I have two.
Oh,
One is okay. Actually, I have three. One
mm,
is actually we mentioned just now, which a problem could automatically solve, but we have other way. We have
mm,
other better way. And the second is we may have more time when we procrastinate, but we don't do the thing directly. We don't just we we don't just try to get the thing done, so that we can have more time to think about the issue. Maybe we can question the assumption. Maybe we can question uh, why we want to do the thing. For example, we can question why we want to prepare for the exam. We can
mm,
question that. Yeah. And
mm,
the questioning could lead to better result. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe at the end you found it, oh, we actually don't need to do exam. Yeah. And also for me at this current moment, I don't think exam is good for me. Maybe I can do other things. Maybe I can start a business. I can build a relationship. Anything else,
mm,
instead of totally focus on the exam. Instead of just think you are a student at this current moment, and what you need to do is just prepare for the exam and get a high mark, and then uh, about the work, about the career, about the relationship is something after you graduate. Yeah,
mm,
yeah, and yeah. So this is about the questioning,
mm,
and you have more time to see the bigger picture. Okay, but there's a problem here, because without practice, just like the conviction, without action, without practice, you couldn't really improve. You really couldn't improve it. Without practice, it may be useless. What you think and what you plan could be totally different from the reality. You just have the kind of like the mental exercise.
mm,
You just create a world, and you are live in your imaginary world, and you feel good. but in reality you are bad.
So do you mean that this mental process of questioning what we should do, if it leads to action, then it is good. If it's still
Yes.
in not into action, then this is also a problem.
Yeah, right. Because you can always review and you can always pause. You can always pause. Yeah, you can start to do it right now. You can pause it tomorrow and think. Right? This is not
Yeah.
something like you pause it. Yeah, you didn't start it. You didn't start it, and then until the last minutes, then you spend the whole time thinking about the problem, thinking about how to solve it, and at the end you found it, oh, what you think is totally different from the reality. And now you are chasing the deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you start it earlier, you have more time to review, you have more time to think, you have more time to pause and see a bigger picture. Right? So I don't see any benefit from procrastination to that allow you to see a bigger picture. Because you not only need to see a bigger picture, you also need to see a bigger and more true, a truer picture. Yeah. Yeah, and then you can come back. You can come back to the solution. You can change your solution. You can come back to the issue. Yeah, after that. But without action, it's just a mental exercise. This is why. This is what I think. And and the next thing, okay, and it could be a cons. It also could be a pros. And okay, do you think procrastinations can affect your relationship? Do you think procrastinations can affect the impression of others to you, or the trust or your trustworthiness?
Yeah, Eric, can you repeat, because there is some bad connection. I couldn't get a few words in your
Okay.
whole sentence.
Okay, I miss yeah, because just now we keep mentioning about the procrastination of the pros and cons of procrastinations to ourselves. But how about other people? Can our procrastinations cause inconvenience to other people? And because of the inconvenience to other people, it actually costs it back. It actually kind of like make us worse in future.
I think it can be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So just now, my question is,
If the thing
yeah.
is related to others.
Yeah, you go ahead first.
Yeah. Just like something which is related to you, also related to others. It also make the other person couldn't make it earlier and better.
And yeah, do you think is it also a cause of procrastination? Because it can affect your relationship, right? Maybe
Yeah, it is a
people,
cons.
maybe people lose the trust of you, and it actually reduces your opportunity of success.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it also could be one. But how about the cons? Sorry, how about the pros? Maybe you want to end a relationship. You don't want to continue, or maybe you purposely want to give a bad impression to other people, or maybe you want to cause inconvenience to other people.
But why don't you just do it directly, like just telling them? But yeah, because I feel like if you do these kind of things, it also hurt your image. Why don't you
Yes.
just tell the truth
Yeah.
to that guy?
Yeah. So this is exactly why I feel, and exactly why I want to say we have better action. So we have better choice. you can reject
mm,
at the first place or second place. You can go to the person and say that, oh, yeah, I think it for quite well. So I think it for a while, and then I found that I shouldn't help you to do this thing. Yeah, and I'm very sorry about it, and
mm,
I'm sorry for the delay. Okay, and so and I try to let you know that I couldn't help you as soon as possible. Yeah.
mm,
So maybe now you need to find other people. You need to ask the help from other people. Yeah. So don't create the trouble to others.
yes.
Yeah. We have better choice. And yeah, and it also uh it actually linked me back to one topic, which is about the being yourself. Mm. And yeah, I think if you don't want to do the thing, if you don't like it, you can say it out. You can directly tell the person that you don't want to help them. You can say
Mm,
no. Yeah, you don't. And we also know that the yes man is not a good attitude, or it's not a good personality, and people don't like yes men actually. Mm.
mm,
They may ask for your help. They may ask the help from yes men, but they will not appreciate the effort of the yes man. Yeah,
mm,
yeah. So when it is time to say no, and you can say no, be yourself if you don't want to do the thing.
yeah.
Yeah, and but it also it may have some confusions here. I would like to see what's your thoughts, because
Mm,
just now we say that yeah, if you procrastinate, it may cause inconvenience to others, right? And
yes.
how about uh, do you see any link here between don't care other people's thoughts of you and procrastination, and the consequence of procrastination in this case?
Um, it is also not. Uh, it doesn't make sense, right? Even though you don't care about how other people think of you, you do procrastinate. You give other people troubles, but you don't care about how they view it. Is it like something like that? You
Mm,
don't care whether it causes troubles to other people.
yeah.
But for
Mm,
yourself, how about for yourself? Is it is it easier to just directly say out the things that you maybe you want to refuse, you want to uh, refuse somebody's offer, or refuse to help some others people. So you just say it. It is easier. If you procrastinate, for you it is also not easier, right? It
mm,
is it take more time, right?
mm,
It didn't like solve the problem. If you refuse at the moment, the problem solved. You don't have to do anything after that. But both
yeah,
cases, you also don't care about how other people think of you.
yeah. But what if this is your choice, and you don't want to directly address a problem, you want to procrastinate? So is it okay?
Um,
Is this like justifications of you don't care other people's thoughts? Is this a uh, is this uh, is this kind of concept, like you don't care other people's thoughts of you,
mm,
uh, make you feel stronger to 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 create trouble to others, and don't care other people opinion of you?
yeah, I think I got confused a little here.
uh, uh yeah, what's your confusion?
What do you mean stronger? Do you mean we have the right to
Yeah, something
procrastinate
like
and
that.
then without
No.
causing any disadvantage?
Yeah, I mean, we have the right to procrastinate, and we may cause trouble. We may create trouble to other people. We may cause inconvenience to other people. But I just don't care. But I just don't care other people's thoughts of me. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, what a big deal. I just want to do this. I just want to quote unquote be myself.
Yeah, but I still go back to my point. How about this procrastination to you, the effect of procrastination to you? For example, just now, your first point talk about mental freedom, mental space. Will that cause your mental space become affected because of this procrastination thing?
Yeah. And also, when you create trouble to other people may also create trouble to you in future.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is something. This is not something that you ignore. Then nothing happened, right? The things
Yeah.
really happen on you.
Yeah. And also, you lose the opportunity to have deeper conversations, to have deeper communication, to have deeper cooperation with others. So you kill your chance to success. Yeah. So yeah, in this case, you have the right. To me, how I frame this thing is, you have the right. You totally have the right to create trouble to others. First, this is your choice, and second, right, you are right. You don't need to care other people's thoughts of you. But how about your long-term well-being? How about your happiness level? How about your long-term happiness level? How about your long-term success? How about your self-esteem? If you keep doing this thing, will you feel happy? Yeah. Yeah. So, uh, yeah. So, it actually also make one a point. Being yourself. Stop seeking approval of others. Don't care other people's thoughts of you. Have your premises, which is you think by doing the things, it will increase your long-term happiness level. It will increase your long-term well-being level. This is a premises. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. I actually have just one more point, which is procrastinate actually make you actually increase your time preference, which is shorter your view. You focus more about the short term. You ignore about long term because you have no time to think about long term. You can only focus on the short term. So it also means that you may lose the big picture. Yeah, not may. You almost will. Almost all the time when you procrastinate, you will lose the big picture, and you have no time to think how to do better and why you need to do the things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is all. Yeah, this is everything. Everything about procrastination in my mind. Do you have any other things we haven't discussed?
Yeah, I think no. Yeah, for the pro here, your second point, I really I think this is something that I like. Yeah, which is like to question what we should do. Because firstly, I think something that we should do, then we should do. Yeah, but you look at this at a high level, which is like we question the things that we should do. Yeah, and then we try to like falsifies it, and then yeah, this is something um I think I get it from today.
Yeah, and also we need to take action, right?
Yes.
Because action improve our conviction. Actions give us the feedback, and then so uh we can like I mean the reality is more near now, is nearer to us. So we didn't move away from the reality.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so that's all.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all for today's
That's all.
conversation. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think of our conversation. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocabulary mistake that we made, please also comment to let us know, because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like, subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.